Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do suspension on a train for Roblox community, like Roblox trains community. I'm going to try to keep this video short and sweet and just quickly as possible. I don't want to waste anyone's time here, so let's just get started. Um, this train is a free model. I did it myself. I scripted it myself. It's really good. Highly recommend it. I'll put the link in the description, so I won't forget about that. And we'll use it as an example. All right. I do want to give a shout out to a guy named Original Subway. He was the one who actually taught me how to do suspension just earlier today, and I want to do it for you guys now. So I'm going to put his channel in the description and on the video. So without further ado, let's just get started. So import your train. I'm going to use my train for example. Of course, make sure that thing is leveled. So we're going to move it on to the tracks. I highly recommend using tracks that would absolutely fit this train. This train actually does fit on tracks that are universal. So a lot of games do use tracks like these. So that's why I'm saying use this train or use something similar. But I mean, I can't guarantee that this spring constraint, which is what we're going to be using for the suspension, I can't guarantee it's going to be working on every single train that you could probably do. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But for for example, like something like this, it will work on it since I tried it out. So without further ado, let's just get started. All right. So since we got this, we have two cars, which means it has two trucks per car. That's four trucks total, which means there are four A handles total. The A handle is going to be the most important part, and especially the base. So each truck has an invisible part called the A handle, which is right here. Uh, that's one, two, three, four. What we're gonna do to start off, we're gonna add two attachments here. We're gonna name them both suspension bogey. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna name this here to attachment, both suspension bogey. And then we're gonna come over here. There we go. Attachment. And to duplicate it, do Control D while selecting it. Suspension bogey. Over here too. I'm gonna do right here. Attachment. Suspension bogey. And then the next step, as you guys can see, I'm having a lot of parts highlighted. So for that to happen, for example, you guys probably have the latest Roblox thing, which looks something like this, right? What you're going to do, come up here. I recommend naming the tab Constraints, add tools, search up show, cons, whatever. Select both of these, click out of it. All you're going to need is this only, and only that. In case you need to use this, that's on you. I don't know what you're going to do that for, but just need that. So since we have the attachments to all four A handles, so we got 2, 4, 6, 8 attachments. What we're gonna do is I highly recommend putting them on the contact shoe of the train, which is probably the best idea. So we're gonna take this suspension bogey. I recommend and actually highly recommend use the move an object tool and have the stud count to be 0.1. This is going to be a really important part. So you're actually going to have to memorize exactly the amount of distance that you're putting on to the actual attachment. So don't forget that. So let's take it to the first contact shoe. So for this train, of course, it's a certain size. This will matter for you. It will be different. Take it to the left will be the first contact shoe. So it'll be 4.7 will be the first one, as you guys can see. So it moves on the x-axis. So we're going to write this down. 4.7 on the x-axis, in case you don't remember. And then we're going to move it down. As you guys can see, the best part, it's like laying right on top, basically. That's okay if it's a little bit more down, but try to lay it on top as much as possible. It's 1.5. Oops, sorry, on the y-axis. So we're going to duplicate exactly that, of course, just for the other side. So 1.7 and then 1.5. And then you can do exactly that for all the other A handles as well. So you can do 1.7, 1.5. Get the other side, 4.7, 1.5. Come around here, get the other one. And by the way, how am I selecting a certain part? Hold down the Alt left, the left Alt key. In case you wanted to know, take this, should be 4.72, right? Bring it down 1.5. take the other attachment. We're going to do 4.7, 1.5, one more, 4.7, oop, there we go, 1.5, yeah, and 4.7, 1.5. And make sure all the attachments lay right on it so you know you didn't make a mistake at all. Always good to double check your work. There you go, that's good, looks good. Looks good. All right, so the next step is actually to add 4 attachments to the base. So what that means is each car is going to have 4 springs, 4 attachments, 4 springs, right? So we're going to add 4 attachments over here. Do not grab the motor, that's not bad. So the base needs to be the base with the body velocity, and only one with the body velocity, so make sure about that. So what you're going to do is you're going to do attachment. Control D is to duplicate, I don't know if I said that. All right, this is going to be suspension base bogey. That's fine. Come over here. Base is right here. Attachment. 4. Select all. Suspension base bogey. Perfect. So this is going to get a little confusing, but watch out for it, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, left click on that, take the WorldCFrame. I'm going to say it again. Take the WorldCFrame position, left click, Control C, press Alt, hold down Alt, left click on the base, take the first suspension right here, scroll down, and take the position, Control V. So now the suspension base bogey should be right here, but what we're going to do is scroll up a little bit to C-frame position. Take the position and set the Y to 0. Just like that. So it should be right above there, just like that, right? That's all you got to do. So now you're going to come back here. So we're going to do it real quickly. Control C. Click right there, yeah. So do exactly that for all of the 8 springs. So it should look something like, should look something like this, right? All right, always good to double check your work. So I did that a little too quickly, but you gotta get experience. Good, good. Does it have one on top? Good, yep. Does it have one on top? Good. Does it have one on top? Good. Now you gotta do it to the other side too. All right, that'll be the end of that. So we gotta double check our work. Make sure it's right. Left click, good. Left click, good. Left click, good. Left click, good. 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 And then one more. Good. Okay, good. Okay, great. So let's do the first car now. Since we have that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add 4 spring constraints. They can all be kept the same name, doesn't really matter. What we're gonna do, highlight every single one of them. Set the stiffness. So I want to warn you guys right now. So every single train is always going to be different depending on how much weight you have on the base. So the stiffness is going to depend. I tested it on this train to make it even, like leveled. Technically, it will be 150,000. So some people have it at, I think it's a little too much, but 400,000. Some people have it at 200,000. So it's definitely going to be a pretty high number. Damping, I recommend around 30,000 to 40,000. And free length, we're going to work on in a quick second. We're going to do it to the other side too. We're going to put springs and make sure the springs go into the base where it says suspension base bogey. So we're going to do 150,000. Damping, I'm going to do 30,000. All right, make sure you don't have any limits to label. And you don't have to touch the appearance. Appearance has, it's not matter whatsoever. It's just the aesthetic. If you want it to look good or whatever, it's not going to affect anything whatsoever. So let's take the first base, which is right here, not the floor, the base. There we go. So make attachment 0 the base attachment, and then attachment 1 the one that's next to the contact strip. So we're going to do that just like that. Perfect. So it should look exactly like this. All right. Let's do it one more time. Since we already have that spring connected, it says active, which is really good, by the way. Take the next spring, attachment 0, right here, just like that. So where it says base bogey and bogey, perfect. There you go. All right, now come to the other side, and I'll do it real quickly. All right, once you have that, and the next step is you are technically done, but one other step that we have to do is the free length, which is really important. So as you guys can see, it says the current length, which you cannot change, is 3.056. It's basically the same for all of them. However, let's take the first card, for example, okay? So with the spring constraint, the free length needs to be the same exact number as the current length. So all we got to do, very simple, 3.056, done. Next one. All right, 3.056, done. Next one, 3.056. And the next one would be 3.056. And then just go to the next card. Everything is 3.056, right? So you got to do highlight them all fine. 3.056 just to make your life easier. And good news, you are 100% done. But one thing, so some trains actually, this is a little bit more different, and I had to realize this because this is a second video. The first one's failed. Technically, some trains have a BallSocket constraint or a hinge constraint. We do not want to use a hinge constraint anymore. We need to use a BallSocket constraint because a hinge constraint will just not work for a spring. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the AHandle. This is a little confusing, so I want you to really stay really close with me. Look very closely at the screen. I cannot emphasize that enough. So we're going to organize this a little bit. So we have a lot of stuff open right now. Let's just take the first card, for example. That's all we need, right? We do not need the second card. Tell me here. What is the second? Hold up a second. This is confusing. Oh, that's just the button. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, we're good. So don't worry about that. So come down here, have the base open, have both trucks open. So let's do the truck front, okay? So as you can see, it says the hinge constraint is active, which is good. We do not need an accurator type, whatever you say that, and limits enable. We do not need any of that. So it says bolster and bogey 1. So we can backspace on that, delete it. BallSocket constraint. Attachment 0 should be the bolster. And attachment 1, it said bogey 1, right? So you go up here, boom, just like that. Next one, delete that. BallSocket constraint. Attachment 0 would be this bolster right here, and then bogey 2. And then the next one's going to be right here. Same exact process again. Sure. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. So this one, hinge constraint, bolster to bogey 2. So we're going to delete that. BallSocket. So that'll be bolster to bogey 2. And then the next one is going to be this one. Delete that to bogey 1. BallSocket constraint. Attachment 0, which will be the bolster. And then we go up, bogey 1. And that is it. And let's test it out. So that's how you can do it in less than 15 minutes. It is actually really not that hard. Of course, it takes time. Do not be afraid to pause the video. It's completely fine whatsoever. Hopefully it works because I did it a little too quickly, but I'm pretty confident now it will work. So, all right, let's hop in. Show the look. There you go. That's it. Suspension works. Alright, that's how you can do suspension in 15 minutes. Comment, like, and subscribe, and don't forget to subscribe to Original Subway who taught me how to do this.